Hi, fourth grade. We are going to be talking about biography poems today, or bio poems. Today is the 11th Monday. It is our last week of school. Like, I know we have stuff next week, but this is our last full week of school, which is so weird to me. So, this is going to be fun, I think. This is a good exercise for you, and we're not really learning anything new except how to do this form. So I think that you guys will enjoy the activity. So today we're going to talk about you. That is why it is a biography poem. So this is the type of poem where you talk about yourself or another person, where you basically give us their biography. And so what I want you to do is use it to explore who you are, what you like, what you want to accomplish, even things that you're kind of a little bit afraid of. And that is what we're going to be doing. So what goes into doing this poem? This is the poem line by line. It is a 10-line poem, and each one has a specific thing that you put into it. The first and last one is going to be like the line 1 is your first name, and line 10 is your last name. So it's bookmarked by that. Line 2, we're going to see 3 or 4 adjectives to describe the person. Line 3 is an important relationship, like you would say, sister of so-and-so and daughter of so-and-so, or brother of this person. And, basically it tells where you fall in the family. Line 4 has 2 or 3 things, people, or ideas that the person loves. Line 5 is going to be feelings that the person has experienced. Line 6 are fears that you've experienced. And that one will make more sense when I show you the biography poem of Rosa Parks. Line 7 is going to be accomplishments. Line 8 is going to be things that they want to see happen or they want to experience. So if it's wants to travel the stars, if you want to be an astronaut or something like that. And line 9 is going to be where you live. So you can say resides in Birmingham or resides in Mountain Brook or Southside or Helena or wherever it is that you live. Or you can just say Birmingham. And line 10 is going to be the last name, like I said before. So this is an example, and this is an example about a historical figure. So we're going to do 2 this week. One is about you. One is about one of our poets that we have covered. And this is just an example of Rosa Parks. We all know who Rosa Parks is. And this goes through line by line the same way that we just looked at it, where each one will have a different thing. So I'm going to read this one, please. And then we will talk about a student example. So Rosa, determined, brave, strong, loving. So those are those adjectives, right? Wife of Raymond Parks, mother of all children, who loved equality, freedom, and the benefits of a good education, who hated discrimination, loved to stand up for her beliefs, and loved to help others, who feared that racism would continue, feared losing the opportunity to make a difference, and feared that young people might lose opportunities to develop strength and courage, who changed history as she accomplished great strides for equality and encouraged excellence for all, who wanted to see love triumph and see an end to all bias and discrimination in a world which respect is freely given. Born in Alabama and living in Detroit, Parks. So we see first and last, Rosa Parks, right? We got the name in there. Her fears, you can see right here, feared that racism would continue. So that's something that she was scared of. Yours can be scared of spiders. It doesn't have to be as heady as hers, but they were doing this because of where she falls in history and what was important to her. So this talks about what she's accomplished. This talks about what she wanted to do. So that's an example of Rosa Parks, historical figure poem. So when you're doing the poet poem, I want you to think about that, because one of the things we're going to do is research one of the poets that you enjoyed, and you find out more about them so you can get to know the people behind the poem. And then I want you to write this sort of poem about them, okay? So, how do I begin? So, one of the things that I want you to think about doing when you do this, the first subject we do is going to be you. So, you have to think about who you are. And hopefully, that's not an uncomfortable situation. Hopefully, you're like, oh, cool, I get to talk about myself a little bit. I mean, it's kind of fun to think about what you like, what you don't like, all that kind of stuff. So, begin with brainstorming if it helps. Because when you're just doing yourself, at first it can be kind of difficult to sit down and think about traits that you want to include in a poem. I mean, it's just, if I ever have to write about myself as in a letter for a job or for something, it's always been the most, or for when you're doing essays for school, it's so difficult. But it's also a really great exercise in getting to know yourself. And I've said this all year, but fourth grade is a giant transition year for you guys. So, getting in touch with who you are, I think is great to do because a lot has happened this year. You guys have been through a lot, So begin with brainstorming. And with brainstorming, any kind of graphic organizer, any kind of writing down the ideas on the page just to get out, you know, your ideas. You don't have to sit down and start writing in line form right away, unless you just want to do that. You can if you want. You don't have to. Sometimes doing brainstorming is helpful. So sketch out ideas of what you like. And I don't mean literally sketch unless you actually literally want to sketch. I just mean sit down and come up with some ideas of what you like, some memories that stick out, things that you want to do as you get older, your hopes and your dreams, what you think you've accomplished so far as a student and as a family member. Get in touch with who you are. Like, just sit down and think about things that you like. So this is an example of a student poem, and it might give you an idea. This is not as heady as the Rosa Parks poem because you guys have accomplished a lot in your short lives, but you haven't. I don't know that any of you have done Rosa Parks style historical change. So this will give you an idea of how to approach the poem from a student example, because the things that you do are wonderful, and this will put it in perspective. Okay, so Braden, athletic, determined, strong, fast, son of Janelle and Nathan and brother Teresa, loves the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, sports, and baked beans, who feels happy when playing with friends and happy when playing sports and being with his family. Fears the dark, spiders, clowns. Who needs books, family, and Legos to be happy in life. Who makes people laugh when someone is sad, who likes to give smiles and loves hugging. Would like to visit Paris, France. Resident of Buffalo, Cox. Okay? So we find out that this kid loves to read, and very specifically Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He loves sports. He loves baked beans. He's terrified of spiders and clowns in the dark. And that's fun and cool. And, it's a little tongue in cheek. I like that we know that. He needs Legos to be happy in life. I know someone else in our class that feels that way. And, the detail about making people laugh when someone is sad, like that's a great detail. So think about what you can do about yourself in this particular poem. The student one is a little bit different than the historical figure one, but what we need to do is get in touch with who you've become this year. Think about who you are. Don't worry about what you want other people to think about you. We're not concerned with other people. We're only concerned with ourselves. Just as a gentle reminder, this is an exercise in who you are, not who you want to be for other people. So your homework for this week, this is just basically what we're doing for this week with these two poems. The first thing you need to do is to sit down and write your poem about yourself, okay? And then it may be easier for you to scroll back and you don't have to do it on this video. You can do it just in the slide presentation, but write down what goes in each line. So that way you can have that next to you or pull it up on your computer, whatever. But either print it out, copy it out, or just have it available when you're writing that poem or when you're getting your details. Remember, the poem is about you. Give me all the juicy details about your life. And I'm not actually asking for secrets. I'm just being silly. And then the second thing we're going to do on Wednesday, I'm going to walk you through in a video how to use the Alabama Virtual Library. Now, this goes back to our research. When we did our research paper, I kind of already had your websites ready for you. Okay. So this is just going to be a tiny lesson in research and how you go through a website database to find out information about Langston Hughes or Sonia Sanchez or Walt Whitman or any of the folks that we have looked at. And I'm going to show you how it works and how you can find out details for those people, and then how you're going to turn that into a poem like the one we just read about, Rosa Parks. Okay. So I don't need you to write a paragraph on these folks. It's just going to be the same kind of bio poem. So you'll do lines 1 through 10. So if it's Sonia Sanchez, you'll do Sonia and then all the different details. And then the last one will be Sanchez, remember, just like we looked at. So, you'll need to look for things that they have accomplished, things that they love, where they lived, that sort of thing, just like you were doing a paragraph or on them. Okay. And so then you'll write their biography poem for that. If you don't want to do one of the poets we covered, but you have a favorite poet, or if you have somebody you'd like to explore, to be interested in, that is a poet, you're welcome to do that. Just let me know, just so I can say, like, yes, that's cool. I don't know why I wouldn't say yes, just in case. And just let me know who they are, and then you can go forward with that. But that is it for today. I hope that this is an exercise where you learn a little bit, but also I want it to be fun. So just let me know if you have any questions about any of this, and I'll be back on Wednesday to show you how to use Alabama Virtual Library. Okay? Have a great day.